Hey, everybody, give me just a second. Because, I'm going to repost this out real fast. As soon as I can find it. This is Breaking the Cage. It's Breaking the Cage, Astrology TV with Matrix Mind Media. And let me get some incense going. I've said to you guys before a million times, I always like the incense. It always keeps things good and healthy around you. I love this incense called Moldavite. Now, I'm not a Moldavite person. I'm always joking around like I'm from the other side of the galaxy because Moldavite and me really don't get along. But this stuff, this incense, this is some good incense. I love this incense. It's a little bit like dragon's blood, but slightly different. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I throw that out there. This is Breaking the Cage for February 13th through the 19th. And yes, happy Valentine's Day for all of you who celebrate it. I do not, so therefore, I look at it more like this is Soul Food Month. And let me tell you, this month, you're definitely needing to be on top of your soul food. And I mean spiritually, soulfully. There's so much going on here in this energy, and I'm going to start getting into it here in just a second. I want to take a sip of my drink real fast. I am going to throw out there, I do have new prices and new sales going on. As of February, my prices had changed. With that being said, for those who are interested in, sitting with me for, sessions of any form and whatnot, I always did my sessions at hour sessions. But because I'm getting, so many more people interested in the sessions, some people are interested in a shorter session. With that being said, I've also started to open up to where I'm having like half-hour sessions and then the hour sessions. So if you're interested in that or your own astrology or coaching from that astrology level, moon phases, any of that, just, follow the information below and you can find your way over to my own personal pages and, connect with me. As well as my products are still for the rest of the month. They are buy two and get one for free. As well as if you are making your own special kit for yourself, 4 items or more, it is 30% off. With that being said, let's get into this week. This week is a no joke extreme week. But the energies are not just for this week. A lot of it is. But there's some energies that I'm having to come back in and look at because it's not just the astrology or in the energy. It's also in the human body. It's in the blueprint. It is being affected. You have to understand. I don't know how many times I could say it more than what I've been saying it, we are in the age of Aquarius, but before we can start to get to all the good stuff of the age of Aquarius, we have a lot of destruction that has to happen. And while this is taking place, your actual body, your DNA, your vibrational frequencies, and so forth, your timelines are being remanipulated, shifted, reorganized in a form, and it is changing you. And when I get into the actual blueprint, I'm going to speak to you a little bit more about it because we are definitely getting more into things that we really do need to address. But before I get into what Spirit gave me for the week, there's just some big pointers I'm going to point out right before I even get into anything else. You have Saturn and the Sun. The Sun is going to be passing Saturn, and then it's going to be moving into Pisces. This is a big deal, okay? You're going to have the Saturn energy in Aquarius illuminating through the Sun right before it moves into Pisces. You're going to have that new moon in Pisces on the 20th. So this is all building up to what are you creating? What are we building? What are we doing? Are we directing properly? Are we misdirecting? Are you getting this? There's so much going on here, so much underneath. I want to say under the covers. There's so much else going on that it's open your big beady eyes and really see what's going on here. You have Venus and Neptune, which are going to be crossing. Venus is going to be crossing over Neptune as it gets ready to move into Aries. So not just that, but you got Pluto at 29 degrees. This is a no joke and don't fuck with me energy. Literally, Pluto at 29 degrees in Capricorn, and he's going to be here. He's going to be here right until he moves in next month. This is more or less coming into the cusp. We're looking at him moving in. Pluto is moving into Aquarius on the 25th. So you're talking about creeping ass, slow moving 29 degrees. Let me punch you in the gut. And what did you freaking miss? Over and over again. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for new renewal, rebirth, regeneration. It is speaking to you about when it first moved in. When it moved into Capricorn in 2007, 2008, what happened? The financial crisis that we were all known, it was a global financial crisis. You're seeing this energy coming back at you going, what did I try to tell you from the beginning? I always say Pluto is like Big Daddy, or would be like God when God's pissed off and I'm putting my fucking foot down. Excuse my language. But Pluto is at 29 degrees. Don't mess with me energy. He's at, I'm trying to get it through your thick skull because I ain't coming back for a long time. He's been here for 15 years trying to teach this lesson. And at the same time, you have Venus crossing over Neptune and Pisces, who's been there since 2011, trying to get that through to you. Add into your sensitivity about that 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, lies, skeletons in the closet, all the things that you don't like to really deal with that's hard for face-to-face to see and really handle. Shadow work. Saturn and the sun illuminating your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, if it's possible. Your groups, your memberships, your committees. Are they your tribe or are they your jail cell? It's really illuminating this energy, and Pluto is going to be punching that energy hard through while this is going on. Plus, you're going to have a new moon coming in Pisces at the end or the beginning of next week, actually, on the 20th. All right. So I'm just throwing this out at you before I get into everything else. You've got, here's another one. Haumea is I believe is a dwarf planet. So like most astrologers are never going to bring this up. Haumea is the collective consciousness itself. It is the creation of the collective consciousness. This is the energy that it carries. It is the birthing energy. And where is that sucker? It is in the cusp going in to Scorpio, which still has the south node here. So this is going into your ability to regenerate, your ability to regenerate good, healthy relationships, your regeneration of life itself, life, death, rebirth, coming into the new you. And he's sitting on the cusp, and that sucker don't move fast at all. Haumea doesn't. He's coming into Scorpio energy, and you've got the south node here, which is really making us, trying to keep us comfortable in our comfort zone, going, well, you know, you're used to that. That's the way you've always known the world to be. So just accept it. No. This is asking you, are you going to continue to create the same crap? The same world that you knew before? Because that's not going to happen. And the harder you hold on to that life, the harder things are going to get for you. This is about your timeline shifting, your vibrational energy shifting. We're really getting into some deep let's get on board. This isn't baby time. This isn't, learning how to do the work anymore. We should have already been doing the work. We're supposed to already see the changes that are supposed to be made. With Pluto moving into Aquarius, you're going to see so much transformation taking place in the next couple years, and it's setting it now in that cusp. You've got Cirrus, which is another one nobody really talks about, and make, which are also in the seventh house, Libra. First off, Spirit is telling me right off the bat that stomach energy, that little bit of confusion energy that you're having, or many of you still have, when you're not sure to trust that gut energy. If you don't understand what I'm saying, is we try to tell you that the second brain is your gut. And that's where a lot of that intuition is. But sometimes you get confused with that gut energy. Sometimes that gut energy gives you the idea of like, oh no, this is bad. But is that ego? This is bad. Like, wait a minute. There's change, and that's more than I'm comfortable with. And meaning you can do this, but it might make you a little sick to your stomach, a little vomiting in the tummy, because you're a little bit afraid of change and trying new things. Because Cirrus is the threefold. She is the mothering energy. She is nurturing energy. She teaches us what we need to nurture properly. She speaks to us of understanding the grief and the problems that give us the wrong ideas about it, what we hold on to incorrectly. She speaks to us of eating disorders. She speaks to us of, low self-esteem when we're not in our healthy places. She speaks to us of, when you want to look at it from that perspective, court battles for custody and so forth. Are you being nurtured properly? And like I said, you have Cirrus and make. Make is the lotus flower. They're very close together. It's the lotus flower, and the lotus flower is one of the most highest spiritually evolutionary ideas of spiritual evolution. And the thing is the lotus flower grows from a swamp. It grows from a nasty place. And it makes it perfect for you to understand. One of the things that I'm being directed at here is make ties together your destiny. I'm looking at my own notes. Make ties, because of what Spirit is directing me to. Make ties together your destiny and your grief. It is created this way to help you walk your spiritual path, to learn how to get out of that swamp. Like I said, the lotus flower is one of the most prettiest, beautiful flowers, speaking to you of your spiritual growth. It grows in a swamp. I always tell you that, are you in the swamp so bad that you can't see the light? You can only see just crap and darkness all around you? Or are you finally starting to break through and you're starting to come into that area of there is light, there is dark, there is light, there is dark, I can see a little bit? Or are you finally starting to stretch for the sky and bloom? You're talking about nurturing your relationship with yourself, your identification with yourself, what this means, and then what are you going to bring back to the relationships you keep? These are very much not just, like I said, it's like they were pointing out, it's tying your destiny and your grief together to teach you how to remove yourself from the swamp. It is very rarely discussed in astrology because it is such a high evolutionary understanding of these are the steps into getting us into the higher vibrations. And for those who aren't in those higher vibrations, it is harder for us to understand, but this is walking the path. Let me remind you again, you have Saturn, which is going to enter Pisces on the 7th of March. This is like right around the corner. The sun is crossing it right now in this new moon in Pisces. I'm going to get into so much of this in just a second when I start getting into the blueprint, the human body, and what that means astrologically for you. But before I do, I've been trying to say that the timelines of the shifting of the energies and everything, it's a burrito effect. It is very important for you to understand it's only as real as you make it. And there are many timelines taking place for many people in many different categories, truthfully, of vibrational frequencies in their lives. What could be very much their timeline, very high or low, does not make it yours, but it's still happening. And you have to really pay attention to what you're connecting your timelines with, because it's very easy for them to be manipulated and shifted right now. With that being said, like I said, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. There's destruction that has to happen for the beginning to put us in that higher body. And that's funny. I said it that way because I'm actually reading what Larry posted. Higher body. Higher everybody. But that was Spirit pointed his saying out and getting you into that higher vibration and getting you into that place that keeps you there. This is not a time for can't get right. This is a time for I'm in it to win it. I am not going to throw in the towel this week. Like I said, 29 degrees of Pluto, no joke. This is all about if you give up now, if you throw in the towel, doesn't mean to throw out everybody and tell everybody what's going on with you. It doesn't mean to be prepared to launch things that are not prepared to be launched yet. But it means don't give up. Don't throw in the towel because it's coming. But if you do it too quick and you give up now, you're going to take so many steps backwards. You're so right there at the edge. We're so right there. I've got Spirit. As soon as I came home tonight, was getting ready to do this for you, I had the mountain lions come in. The mountain lions speak to us of being agile and adaptable to the energies that are taking place. Understanding the shifting that is going on. Understanding that there is a very masculine energy that is taking place. Action, aggression, and shifting energies that are taking place, that are overpowering the situation and our intuition. They're saying, make sure that you're not sticking to the ego, stubborn part of that, but keep going in that direction. Because at this moment, you do not want to lose that momentum. You do not want to lose that self-worth, that self-value. This is about, and for some, I am being said that this is more about father issues or male issues. This is about having, that male dominating energy, feeling like it is infecting you. And I didn't even mean to say it that way, but this is about not allowing yourself to be put down, standing our ground. I've been saying so long that we've been seeing so many what feels like negativity, what we've been talking about, like I'm not putting up with that shit anymore, and we feel like we're getting mean because we're compassionate, loving souls. But it's not that. What it is we're finally starting to be firm and not take bullshit. And that is boundaries, baby. That means you're learning. And others who don't like it, well, fuck them. Sorry. You have a right to that. I've got the mountain lion, which is teaching us about being agile and adaptable, making the changes that we need to make sure that we are doing the best life we can live. All right. But it speaks to us about balancing our masculine and our feminine energies. It also speaks to us about the solitude, solitary energy, being with yourself, journeying with yourself for your sixth sense, for your own personal life, for your own bravery, your own journey. Because mountain lions are known to spend most of their life alone. So this is a solitary energy. Take the time you need, pull back, and give yourself what you need. But keep up the momentum of everything that's going around. Don't get, like I said, this is, what is it? Dot your I's and cross your T's. Don't be messing this shit up right now. This is not that time. It is about protecting what is precious to you and the precious resources that are yours. And then knowing how to make those boundaries stand is what I'm getting from Spirit for a lot of this. Is there anything here that I missed before I jump into the next? When I get into the blueprint, I'm going to have a sip of my drink real fast. Because this is where we're starting to see things. The blueprint usually sounds kind of the same over and over again because things move slowly. But no, I'm being directed into opening my mouth now. Because of these energies that are going to be shifting, because of these major changes. And I don't know how else to put it. Like I said, I keep trying to tell you guys, you're coming to the end of the cycle, the end of that Pisces era. We're going into the Aquarius era. We're actually in the Aquarius era, but there's still this destruction that's happening to make it that era. This is an incredibly long cycle coming to its end. And as this happens, major changes are taking place. I'm being told with the 12th house, the Pisces energy. The Pisces energy, you got the new moon coming in on the 20th. You still have Neptune here right now. And he's still going to be here until next year, mid-year. Yeah, or something, next year. But Neptune is already at, 27 degrees, I think? So you're getting near and closer to the end of that, where he's going to start kicking your butt. Neptune is fantasy, smacks you in the face with harsh reality. 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet. All your insecurities that you're afraid to deal with, face, and bring the healing to, because you've trapped yourself into believing it's okay. Or society has trapped you into thinking that this was the life you had to have. Neptune is your soul's magic, the power of your soul's magic. But are you connecting with the soul? This is part of what we're at here. This is really getting into deep shadow work. This is also, I'm being told right now, that this goes back to the mountain lion also, because that has to do with past lives and shadow work as well. We're bringing healing to the ancestral line. And they're saying for many of you, some of you are going to need to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help, whether it is in getting healing or just in your actual life, your day-to-day activities. Too many people are afraid to ask for help in general, is what I'm being told. Can I go? Yeah, they're saying because you try too hard to push to receive, make it happen. And in some cases, the situation is simply that you do need a little bit more time and a little bit more help and a little bit more skill. All right. But what I'm trying to get at is you have, as of what? Saturn is going to be moving in on March 7th. Into Pisces. Still have Neptune here. At the moment, during this new moon, you still have Venus here. You're coming closer. This energy may not be in Pisces yet, but it is coming into the energies that's starting to consume what is going on in this energies, which is speaking to you directly about your metabolism, your lymph node systems, your endorphin systems, endorphin glands in general. This is the functions of your body, and are they functioning properly? It is speaking to you of your skin. It is speaking to you of your bones. Saturn is your bones. Your skin, your bones, your sensitivity, which is also Venus being there in your skin. But now we're going to get into what it really comes down to. You're dealing with that Neptune energy, new moon, Saturn coming in, Sun going over Saturn. You've got the Venus going over Neptune. All of this is starting to make its move, and we're dealing with the magical energy. There is, you're going to have to start paying attention to that psychic disorders, hallucinations, addictions, poisoning, you know, dimensional illusions is what spirit is giving me. Many of us are going to be, your psychic activity is on an upshift, but that doesn't mean that you're adapted to it. It's like a video game. When you're playing a video game and you move up a category or whatever, you go to the next level, things happen that you haven't learned yet. You don't know how to act right yet. You don't know what your new abilities are. And then we're talking about 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, the magic, creating the magic, tapping into where are you? What timeline are you on? Because let me tell you right now, if you're tapping into low vibrations, you're going to be tapping into demons like a motherfucker. You're going to be tapping into things that are going to be pulling those negativities towards you fast. This is why I'm telling you this. Then you're going to be misled by those negative energies. I'm not trying to put negative out there. I'm trying to make you get right in your head with where your timeline is, where your vibration is, where are you directing your thinking, your action, your energy. Because Neptune is fantasy, smacks you in the face with harsh reality. He is illusion and delusion. Venus is sensitivity, not just love. I hate it when astrologers say that. Venus is your sensitivity. She is your senses, your touch, your smell, your taste. She's also your body. She deals with your water energies, all liquid in your body as it shifts up and down. This is talking about blood. This is talking about your stomach digestion. This is talking about going to the bathroom, urination. Your body has liquid in it. It's just like the tides, high and low tide. These energies are whiplash. And it's important right now that you are in control of your energy and that you are understanding the direction of it, because the psychic disorders could give you the idea that you're sensing something and you're sensing it wrong. And these things, some of these lower vibrational things, know that you don't know. I'm giving you the warning. Like I said, hallucinations right now. This is not the time to party off the excuse of I can deal with it later, because it's going to be right there in your face when you wake up with the hangover. I'm not saying that you can't go out and have a couple of drinks. I'm not saying that you can't have fun and enjoy life. I'm just saying don't pack it up. Don't throw in the towel right now, because it's going to come back and knock you the hell down. This is the time to create. And if you create incorrectly, you will be taking many steps to correct the mistake of what you're creating. Like I said, with the dimensional illusions, the body itself, the endorphins, the endorphins, the ligaments, lymph nodes and whatnot, they all have to do with the functioning of your body. Then they're going into those lower vibrations of, not lower vibrations, but then they're pointing me into looking at the energies of what's shifting in the Aquarius energy. You've got Mercury, which also deals with your bronchial tubes, even though it's an Aquarius energy. Mercury deals with everything that is two. Both sides of your brain, your lungs, your arms, everything that is two. It deals with your lungs in general, your bronchial tubes. It also speaks to you in Aquarius alone, also of skin diseases, skin rashes. It's speaking to us of skin infections. Then you have the Saturn energy, again, that's moving. It's speaking to you from the legs and into the body in general as it reacts of the skeleton, the bones, as well as the teeth. This is speaking to you about the energies you carry inside of you and where you haven't been able to heal parts in your chakra, parts in your emotional indifferences, where you're holding on to the grief of that Haumea energy, and you're not allowing yourself to work through the swamp to find the light. Get through the destiny of into who you are. It is all shifting our bodies. You have, again, skin infections, skin irritations going on in that ninth house with the major shiftings of what's going on. Pluto himself is dealing with the skin. Pluto himself is dealing with the regeneration of the body. He speaks to regeneration, rejuvenation, and your immune system. Being able to re-heal, regenerate, bring back healthy life. And what are you putting into your body? I don't mean just food. I say a million times when I'm looking at everybody and talking to you guys, I'm like, when they say food for thought, it's not just food. It's your actions. It's your environment. It's the energies that you breathe into your life. The thoughts, the actions, the people, the places, the things. It doesn't just consume you, you are consuming it. And it makes a big difference as to where these vibrations are taking you and how much you're going to have to go back and still address healing in order to make it work properly. You have Venus that's going to be coming in to Aries in the beginning of the week, next week. Then you have Vista, which is already there. You have Jupiter there, which is Chiron there. You have Uranus there. This is your eyes. You're literally your eyes, which deal with when your eyes are when you are carrying too much energy of fear. Your energies, your eye sockets and so forth tend to feel like they're burning more. When you're holding on to resentment and grief more, your eyes feel heavier, drier. When it's anger, they're grittier. The ears are your chakras also for past lives. Not just the third eye, the throat, and all of this, no. And the ears have a lot to do with what your brain is interpreting. When it goes into the third eye, it goes all the way back to the zeal point, connects into the spinal column, and goes up and down all the way around the inverted dragon of the Kundalini, I can never say that right, energy. What are you cycling in your tree of life? As above, so below. If what you're seeing is all you're paying attention to is the lower vibrations, then that's what you're circulating. You're taking all of these energies into your head and then sending it everywhere else. Chiron's the wounded healer, literally on the nerves of the brain nerves. We're talking about the ability to light up the energies and make the healing so that the circulation is happening. You're talking about, again, nerves in the brain with Juno. Juno is the sacrifice and commitment. Am I right? No. Yeah, Juno is the sacrifice and commitment to getting to the other side, to getting out of the life you didn't want and creating the best life you've ever wanted by knowing how to turn your brain on, knowing how to disconnect from that hive mind and be responsible for your own thinking patterns and acknowledge when it's not working for you, when you're still connecting to that hive mind. I cannot say enough times how Spirit has directed me, and the best way of explaining that is you go back to The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, and the very first time that they had unplugged Neo and they replugged him in to train him from combat training. And the one is saying to the other one, dude, he's been at it for hours because he's still hardwired for the hardwiring of that system. So we have so much hardwiring we have to break. Spirit keeps saying you have to learn to tap into your own personal mainframe and take that over. That's what a lot of this is. What are we seeing? How are we viewing? How are we hearing it? What are we interpreting it as? Perspective. That's free will. Nobody can take that away from you. It is up to you to use it. Then you have, again, you have that north node, which is everything you need to learn, is sitting directly on the vocal cords about speaking, but how are we speaking it? Are we speaking it because we felt threatened, or because we're manipulating our way through it? Or are you in your power? And I can just say no. Like I said, it's not about being meaner. It's not about having to live a meaner life because there's others out there who don't care or will take advantage of you or push you around. It's because all of us who have good hearts and who are compassionate people have allowed ourselves to be so loving and compassionate for so long. We've taken it and taken it and taken it. It's learning to say no and not feeling bad about it. Not feeling bad about it at all, because you have that right. North Node, Taurus. Uranus is also here. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, learning how to come into your power and be the possession of your own self. Because if you are not, you are the possession of something or someone else. You have Uranus, which is on the esophagus. We're talking about the ability to breathe, okay? Mars is in the shoulders. The shoulders, that which literally connects the head, the spinal column to the body and carries it around. It's what carries all the weight. You know what the shoulders are? It's the supernatural highway between the heart and the third eye, or the heart and the mind. Your I coulda, shoulda. Well, I could have done that. Well, what if I did this? Maybe I should have done that. No, that shit will drive you crazy. That is where you hold all of the I coulda, I shoulda, I woulda, what if, maybe, no. No. Turn that off. What happened, happened. What can happen next is what you will or will not do. Period. Will you speak it or not? Will you go and do what you have to do? The shoulders is also connecting that throat and that heart energy. These are these two chakras having a problem because the communication isn't getting through, because we still have so much autopilot going on of that hive mind. You have to connect into your own mainframe. You have Pallas, which is Athena, the warrior goddess, which is in Cancer. Lilith, which is in the heart energy. Ceres, which is in the kidneys. But remember, Spirit was also directing us into the fact of pay attention to the stomach, that gut. This is also your digestive energy. Let me help you see things from a different perspective. You don't just digest food. You're digesting energy. This is why one of the products I make, I call Psychic Sponge. Because every empath you have ever met loves bread. It's not that you love bread, you store energy. And we accidentally have stored so much low vibrational in us that we don't realize that we store it here. And this is where we have problems trusting that gut intuition, because we've connected with everybody's sob story. If you don't want to bring that energy into you, you have to know how and when to connect and when not to, when to address the situation. You are literally bringing the karmic energy, the strategic thinking, and the knowledge of it into your body, and then it gets stuck. I don't know how else to say a million times. I have this in my Shaman Secrets, which is on Etsy, which is like teaching you a little bit about the empath energy. It's a lot like static electricity. And you look at it from the atom's perspective, and you put it into the body and the cells, and the inside of the body is a low vibration. It is a negative energy, while the outside of the body is a positive energy. The energy crosses the cell membrane, it gets inside of the body. But once you get the negative inside the negative body, it's hard to get it back out. That wasn't by no means done on purpose now. It's part of how we do our living. We have to realize what we are connecting with. This is why I said a product of your environment. I had to teach somebody the other day. I was like, there's a difference between like me and I am a shaman. I am dealing with healing. I work with people in this energy. This is my job. It is literally my job to work with people on this energy. It's not many of yours. Stop putting yourself in a position to digest all of the ick from the world around you. That psychic sponge. That is something that so many of us need to work on and learn how to stop filling ourselves with these lower vibrations. It's part of what's messing up our upgrade. And I can say enough times that your mind can be able to tap into those higher dimensions, but until the body is matching it, we have a problem still. This is part of the growth that we are having as a human race. Now, you've got the 7th house, which is that relationship zone, which was, like I said, was talking about make, and Sirius coming into understanding, the true level of our destiny versus our grief and what we are creating in our spiritual life because of that. That's not just the digestive energy, it's also your relationships. This is what you're storing that is acceptable in your life. We are getting raw now. We are really getting in depth now. And when you store that this is acceptable, this is what you manifest. Remember, energy has to like its own energy. So this is about creating where we manifest wrong through our very own metabolism and how we breathe our energy into our body. We are learning to change this. How do you think that the light people from all those years ago that we know of now, the Pleiades and so forth, how do you think they got to be who they were? They eventually shedded this shit that we are trying to talk to you about now. Like I said, your 7 chakras, your mainstream 7 chakras are not enough. It defeats the purpose now. It is time to move into big girl, big boy pants and start really, really working this job, because this is where we're at. We're no longer in just beginning process. We're coming into the warriors, and we have to stand our ground. We have to first learn how to heal our ground, heal our vessels, and then take us forward. As we go into the actual astrology for this week, you have the moon, which is going to be questioning everybody as it goes through Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, ending with it at that new moon in Pisces. It's going to be looking at things from your materialistic point of view versus your self-motivated, self-action oriented, self-assertive energies. Where's the ego not working for you? Where are you going to acknowledge that you're allowing it to do this? Because this is about putting it in its place. Understanding that you are the creation of who you are. But it's not that you ever were created wrong. It's just we've picked up some bad habits that we've got to learn to break. We've picked up some energies that we've accepted that are beneath us. And it's time for us to be responsible for what we're creating and bringing into the outer world. This is your timeline shifting. This is that burrito effect of time. Like I said, how do you think the Pleiades became who they are? They've went through this. How do you think all of these became who they are? The light people. They shedded this. You have all of that energy, which is more or less blowing fan on a fire this week. Because that's the way spirit shows me it. Is literally, they're showing me like a fan going. And then they're showing me like when you blow like the glass into balls. So they're showing me that you're blowing the energy into a solid form of who you are. Pay very close attention to what you're building, what you're blowing into your life. What are you creating? Has a lot to do with where your mind is going, autopilot, or are you in charge and you're tapping into your own mainframe and taking over control? Especially from the 17th through the 20th this week, you have a lot of sextiles. Sextiles are good things. This means a lot of opportunities are here. The only problem with sextiles is we get lazy and comfortable, which means no, no, no. When you see sextiles, it means you need to act on them because it won't last forever. And what is the opportunity may not be there tomorrow. Like I said, a lot of these are showing up between, especially from the 17th through the 20th, right as we come into that new moon. You have Pluto, which I said is at 29 degrees, not taking any more shit. The outer authority looking at, are you having any control in your outer life? And what I mean by that is the 10th house is your honor, your reputation, but it is also your career zone. It is also the public eye. It is also society in general. It's the authority of the outer world. And are you having any of that authority? Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities? Do you just do as you're told and follow the rules? Some rules are meant to be broken. Some do need to stand firm. And that's the part of what I'm saying right now is, where are you standing firm in your beliefs? Or where are you caving? This has a lot going on. It is speaking directly with the sun, with Venus. It's speaking with the sun, but it's also speaking with Sun and Saturn. But it's going to be speaking more of as the sun's passing Saturn. It's going to be speaking with Venus more as Venus is passing Neptune. And then it's speaking with Jupiter. So this is your 11th house, your 12th house, your first house, your goals, dreams, ambitions being breathed into life, the ability for them to. It is speaking to being sensitive about stepping into that power, trusting your intuition and going with it. Is speaking about really realizing the character of who you are and what you can be creating in this world. Depends on how you see this world. But on the flip side, you're also going to see the manipulation of those who are trying to keep you to do their bidding. Sorry, it's the way the world goes. You're going to see the masks come off these people, and you're going to have to make these decisions as to really who are your environment. You have Mercury, which is sextiling with Jupiter. This is a good thing. At least it's telling you who is by you, who's got your back and who don't. It's just, are you opening up your eyes to admit it? And then work with what is there and know what is not. No more lies to ourselves. You have Mercury, which is in that 11th house, coming closer to Saturn. Still on the other side of it, though. And it is speaking directly with Jupiter. Your communication with your own character and making sure that you can make it sound good. And showing yourself in the right way to create what you want. The opportunity is here. If you can charm that communication into working for you. And this is also talking about technical abilities, technical and computer abilities as well, of making these things work in your direction. You have a major chain energy, which is coming out of sextiles. It's not actually got an aspect. But Spirit, I don't do astrology quite like most astrologers do because Spirit taught it to me. And so I see different things. And there's a chain energy going on of Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, and Juno, where Spirit is saying the key here is Uranus. It is your Mars energy speaking to your heart chakra and that throat chakra, because we're talking about Uranus energy, speaking to your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, coming into your power, speaking it. And then Juno, the sacrifice and commitment it takes to be able to connect to the character of who you truly are. Jupiter is the higher power. Jupiter is the higher self. Jupiter is lucky and abundant if you're giving him healthy food for thought. So this is definitely saying you can shine this week. You can shine and be illuminated this week. You can lift and move into new things if you're willing to go for it. This is not the week to throw in the towel. It may feel hard. It may be pushing. And what it is going, if you really want it, well, then you better really be working for it. I'm going to make you earn it. But it's there. The ability to earn it is there. That's the key. Don't be fooled by the stresses. Trines are definitely good energies too. You have Lilith and Jupiter talking. Heart chakra, Lilith, standing in that 5th house of your creativity, reminding you that part of that creativity, part of that fun, part of that enjoyment is for you. Not for you just to teach the rest of the world, but if you aren't enjoying it, you aren't finding any fun in your life, then what is life for? You have to be happy. If you are telling yourself that you are falsely happy, I'm trying to believe it. Like they say, fake it to make it. Yes, in one form, manifestation does work that way. And in one form, as we're trying to get ourselves out of a negative position, it does work that way. But when you constantly are saying something that you know is a bold-faced lie to yourself, this part of what I'm saying, this energy is asking you, what makes you tick? What makes you want to be here? What makes you enjoy life? This is the energies that, you create your tribe with. These are the energies that you create your relationships with. This is the ones that you find out if you clash or not. And it's speaking directly to the character of who and what you are. What are you connecting with this week? If you're connecting right, it's going to help you feel lighter. It's going to help you feel like you're birthing good things. But if you're lying to yourself, then you're going to be creating something that's going to be much harder for you to fix. Because manifestation is coming in super fast. You have Mars and Mercury, the 3rd house and the 11th house. It's all about how you communicate it, period. Your tribe can be helping you direct everything and show you, even where you're getting carried away with yourself, you're doing it completely wrong, or hey, maybe we need to critique it a little bit over here. Your tribe is there for that. But then there's the manipulating ones who just want to keep you in play so that they don't have to do their job. Communication is everything this week. The way that you are speaking it, is it coming from the heart and the throat? Is it coming in a balanced masculine and feminine energy? Like I said, we were given the mountain lion, balancing that, bravery, part of your own personal journey and learning how to do this. This is all part of us coming into the true age of Aquarius. We're coming into, a better place as humans once we get to this, but we're still having to work our way through this. There's still a lot of shovel and dirt and shit we've got to remove, but at the end, it's going to be great. It's just, this isn't the time to give in. You have the sun and the south node, which is Saturn crossing over the sun as the sun gets ready to go into Pisces, right here after the new moon, or right actually before that new moon. And that's the 11th and the 12th house, going directly into the 8th house, speaking to, well, what are you about to rebirth? You're going to rebirth what you've always done, what you're comfortable with. The only thing that the world's ever taught you is that you're worth, that you're capable of, that's the way it has to be. Are you going to break the cage? Like I said, you have Haumea coming in over here, coming into the edge of that energy, and she's going to continue to keep growing in it. The collective consciousness is about these boundaries right now. Not about being vicious, but firm. New sheriffs in town, all of us are. It's time to get on board. It's time to start really playing this game. Because it's not a game. It's about taking your power back. Taking your soul back. Taking your energy back. Taking your responsibility back. Being in charge of you so that you can truly create. You got very unpredictable energies coming in with Pluto. Again, like I said, not taking any of the shit. Speaking directly again with that Venus and that Jupiter energy. I said that in the beginning, but it's the way I rewrote it down. Definitely speaking about your sensitivity, being uncomfortable about some of these areas. But this is about us securing who we are by stepping into who we are, not being afraid of it. A lot of that gut feeling, little vomity from time to time as you stand in that power. But that's a good thing because it's teaching you how to be in control of your energy and learn how to get rid of the negativity, learning how to not continue to psychic sponge it. The North Node and the Sun, very unpredictable, meaning as that sun goes from that 11th house to the 12th house, illuminating those boundaries, going into the insecurities, going into the grief, sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet. You have that North Node is sitting there telling you that this is the right way. North Node is everything you need to learn in order to move forward about being in your power, being the possession of your own energy, not someone else's possession, directing your energy as they so see fit. This is definitely the time to show those boundaries. But if you don't, this is the time to get clobbered by them. South Node and Jupiter, pretty much the same thing. Gives you the opportunity. Free will's a bitch, guys, but it's free will. South Node is being comfortable in what you've always done, keeping the idea, keeping the relationships, continuing to stay in the swamp versus the destiny, forcing you to continue to do the same lesson until you finally learn it and get out of your comfort zone, get out of your own way by realizing to choose you. The South Node is also having very unpredictable issues with Venus as it's passing over Pisces, making you uncomfortable about actually doing the healing. Sick to your stomach. Like I said, the stomach's going to have a lot going on this week. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's going, ooh, I really can do this, but what happens if I do? That's a powerful energy. Don't forsake that. Don't forsake yourself. It's the wrong time. It's the time to step into that. Step into it, and the sickness will go away. That's just because you're not used to it. But we have a grand cross, slightly off, but a grand cross, more or less, which is very much bringing in complications, very much difficulty. Grand crosses are typically looked at as negative. I like to look at them as, you know, it's an obstacle for you to overcome. because nothing can be overcome if you're on a high enough spiritual level. It's just, are you? You have the Grand Cross, which is Mercury, the South Node, the North Node, Lilith. So this is your 11th house, your groups, your memberships, your committees, your outer world, what you are a part of, and the ability to rebirth, the ability to speak and be in possession of yourself, to be free as you're doing it from your own heart, from your own creativity, from your own fun. Being part of the team, not a slave to the team. And it is having direct situation with Lilith and Pluto, which is more or less going, I bet I can make you sit back down and give up. I bet I can push it to where you feel like you're not going to be able to do this. It's the outer world trying to make you feel somewhat like what they want has to happen and you have to come last or second, or it's not as important. No. You are no more important than me, and I am no more important than you, but I am definitely not beneath you. This is my life. I was put here. This is what I'm saying from the Lilith energy. I was put here on this planet, maybe to do a job, yes. But my job was not to serve you. My job is to make sure that I love my life, that I'm doing the best that I can with my life, that I enjoy my life, and then I bring as many people as I can with me to help do that. Do not fall for, I was put here to serve you. Because they're going to try to make you feel like that 9-to-5 job, that 55 hours or more for salary. I don't know how many times I've had friends in my life who I'm like, hey, you're the one who's taking that salary, sitting pretty paycheck. But you're taking that paycheck to be on the clock when they said. To each person's different. What I'm saying is you make the responsibility. You choose if you're choosing you or if you're allowing them to define you. Because you have a lot of that going on this week. Going, are you really going to come into your power? Or will you be swayed? It's really that simple. You have Pluto, Mars, and Lilith, which are also in a like yod energy in a negative way. Like I said, a challenging negative way. Yods are like a finger of God. They're technically very positive energies. But this is very similar, meaning very much obstacles here. And it is Pluto, Mars, and Lilith. Again, death, decay, and destruction from the outer authority of the world around you, the world that has told you how life has to be, versus trusting your own heart, enjoying your own life, creating it, believing that you can do it, doing it, and showing the world it's possible, versus Mars. It all comes down to how you communicate. How you communicate can go a long way. Are you communicating from your source energy? Or are you communicating from manipulative, forceful, pushed up against the wall, I have to fight? Because if you're fighting, you're still threatening. You're not really in your power yet. You're still fighting to figure out how to get in your power. And that's a start. But one of the most unbelievable things is a person who's in their power. You can't do a fucking thing because I already know what I'm going to do. I don't have to fight with you. They're some of the most dangerous people because they can't be controlled anymore. And that is the key. You were never meant to be controlled. You were meant to be you. Get back into being who you are. You have that South Node, which is also having a conversation with Uranus. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, how you manifest according to that self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem, according to that level of possession of your own energy versus being the possession of you being somebody else's possession. And it is speaking right down to Venus. If you aren't in your power this week, you are going to feel very unconfident. But that is a key, a trigger of helping you to know what you have to work towards to get you on that right path. You have Chiron and Neptune, the wounded healer versus the magic of what your soul can create. Will it create wounds or will it create the healing? A lot of this has everything to do simply with the way you communicate. Heart and throat chakra, because what I'm getting is, what I'm really getting from Spirit is right here across the knuckle. And it's this. The heart of what you are is what you speak. Pay attention. I love you guys. See you next week.